What up, everybody? This is Jason, Zombie Collector, and doing a box break results. This is Road to WrestleMania 2015. You got some icons. Now AEW wrestler on there. So there you go. I guess there's the box. I'm only going to show you the ones guys I collect. I did pretty good, I think, and inserts. So there's no real rhyme or reason. When I get to the end, there'll be a couple more like quote unquote bigger cards. So I'm just gonna kind of show them off. This will be a while. We got Big Show looking like a sumo wrestler right there, aka Paul White, who's now with AEW. So you'll see the cards I'm pulling out are all AEW guys. There's very, very few cards I pulled out that are non-AEW guys, unless they're Hall of Famers or I was a fan of them when I was growing up. Then I pull those cards out. But if you're wanting to look at just WWE guys, it's not really the video for you. Again, we got Gold Dust right here, Dustin Rhodes with Triple H. So you got Dustin Rhodes there. Dude, I think the dude found the fountain of life. He just has not gotten any older, it seems like. We got, was it Seth Rollins there with Big Show. Another card looks like something about to do with the Shield. And then what you have here, this is Jake the Snake Roberts, who also is one of my favorite wrestlers, and also with AEW now with the Honky Tonk Man. Honky Tonk Man. And then we have Blue Parallel with Big Show here. Paul White, Roman Reigns doing the Superman Punch. I know everybody's kind of up on the Roman Reigns thing. I feel like it's kind of run its course with WWE. I just don't feel like he has any charisma. He doesn't have the it factor, the X factor for me personally. I just never been impressed with him. I feel like they tried for years to push him on everybody. And now that he's kind of over, but I just feel like I don't get it. I have not been impressed. Every time I see him do a promo, I'm kind of like, if it wasn't for Paul Heyman, he would not be the character he is today. We got Daniel Bryan getting tombstoned. I believe that's Kane, by Kane. Another Blue Parallel card here. And then we have Chris Jericho getting body slammed by Brock Lesnar. So Chris Jericho, La Champion. Then we got a Big Show here with what is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. The second annual he won, it says here. And then we have here Daniel Bryan kicking Kane, I guess, yeah. Here we have Daniel Bryan kicking the crap out of Kane. Daniel Bryan's been on a tear in AEW since he's joined, or Bryan Danielson, as you know, is known now. I really like Bryan Danielson a lot. He's had some really great matches. He just did a 60-minute match with Hangman and Page. He did a 30-minute draw match with Kenny Omega. He's had like 5 or 6 matches with like Dark Order people. And I think maybe another 1 or 2 kind of sprinkled in there. I've been enjoying the matches a lot. Him and CM Punk, I've been enjoying their matches quite a bit. Here we got Triple H defeat Sting. Sting came... WCW had WWE/F back then could never get the one man from WCW they really wanted to just embarrass and humiliate, because Sting was like just left and never went to WWE. He was like, nope, I'm done. You bought out WCW, I'm going to go take my ball and go home, which is probably what he should have stayed doing. Unfortunately, I'm sure he was promised, rainbows and a puggle and a, daffodils and sugar pop candy or whatever if he came back. But then, of course, he just buried him. He came back to get buried by Triple H, and then he got hurt by Seth Rollins, I think, or AJ Styles. I think it's AJ Styles. Here we have another Sting card. Luckily, he's been able to come back with AEW yet again, and just had a heck of a triple tag team with him, Darby Allin, and CM Punk. Can you imagine in 2021 that you would have got to see Sting, Darby Allin, and CM Punk in a match, all 3 together, taking on FTR and MJF? It's not nothing. None of us would ever thought of that. Absolutely amazing. So here are the inserts. Most of these inserts I don't have any interest in, but they came with it, so I'm just going to show them real quick. Here we have Chief J Strongbow, George the Animal Steel, probably a murderer here. They got covered up by WWF at the time, Jimmy Superfly Snuka. I was a huge Jimmy the Superfly Snuka fan, but if you watch the Dark Side of the Ring, you start realizing, like, hey man, this guy is not who he claims to be. And he got saved by who he knew. Sergeant Slaughter, dude, real live action G.I. Joe, real life. Jerry the King Lawler, right there. Apparently he's coming back to the WWE. That was probably a mistake, but whatever. Stone Cold Steve Austin, one of the few wrestlers that I actually liked from the Attitude Era that's still, I guess, quasi-relevant. He does his Broken Skull session stuff. I really liked. I always liked his like everyman feel. And then we have Lex Luger. I'm actually reading his book, Wrestling with, I believe it says Wrestling with God. Or Wrestling, I think it's called Wrestling with God. I'm reading his book. I got it for Christmas. I'm going to do a review on that book. I'm almost done. I got it in the last week, and I'm almost finished with it. And that's with my life as hectic as it is. It's just been a big page turner. But anyways, I'm not here to talk about that. So Lex Luger, huge fan of his, especially after the book I've been reading. John Cena, Eddie Guerrero, Edge. Now, these are all inserts. I'm not going to give more details of that. Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton. We got Triple H and Kane. There's that one. Another Triple H card. This must have been a Triple H subset, I guess. Another Triple H looks like he has poor Sheamus in the pedigree. And then we got Triple H with Brock Lesnar doing like, I don't know, some sort of, I guess that's a spear. We all know Brock Lesnar would rip off Triple H's arms in real life. Then we got The Rock, who is the most electrifying wrestler. I like The Rock too. I don't feel like I'm the biggest fan of Rock as everybody else seems to be. Like, I think everybody thinks he's almost like godlike in some ways, and I'm just kind of like, I mean, he was a great wrestler. I like him better as an actor. I'm having my green tea I got for Christmas also. Shout out to my ex. But here we go. We got The Rock here. Dwayne Johnson. This is where he defeats Hollywood Hogan, apparently. Here we have him with the rattlesnake, where he beats Stone Cold. And here we have him with the Rock and Sock Connection. I don't know who. It looks like, I think it's Randy Orton, it says on the trunks there. And then John Cena and The Rock. If you all know a lot about that, there's a lot of backstory. John Cena was still a wrestler exclusively with WWE, and he started talking some smack about how The Rock kind of left wrestling and was too good to come back to wrestling, and he had this whole other life, but wrestling gave him everything. He wouldn't be anybody if it wasn't for wrestling, and he should never dip down on wrestling. Well, then, Rock was pretty much just like, just joked on him, was like, you don't know, essentially, and I'm doing what I do, and if you don't like it, too bad. That's the Cliff Notes version. And then guess what? John Cena ended up becoming a Hollywood staple, kind of, sort of, and started building momentum nowhere near The Rock level. And then he stopped showing up at WWE and stopped, putting wrestling on the back burner. And then he had, of course, eat crow and say, yeah, you're right, Dwayne, you were right. I was wrong, and now I have to take my my lumps. I don't understand what this card is. Apparently, this is against Andre the Giant. It's Andre the Giant defeats Big John Studd in a $15,000 body slam challenge. This is a blurry card. I mean, like, you couldn't get a better card than this. This is the best you can come up with, Andre the Giant and Big John Studd. I'm sure there had to be at least one still from that event that was like better than, all you see is Andre the Giant's hand grabbing the shoulder of Studd, and it's all blurry. I don't know. Nikolai Volkov right here, who I believe actually is Yugoslavian, but he always played the evil Russian. Then we have a silver or gray border here of the Funkadelics, I guess. I have no idea who these people are, but it was an insert because, and then I don't really know who this person is either. I don't know. I think this is the one that's married to Daniel Bryan, maybe. I don't know. Brie Bella. As a relic, it says it's a shirt card. I have no idea. All right, so here are the cream always rises to the top. So here's the best cards that I think, for me at least. In no particular order, we have another insert here of Chris Jericho, Y2J, Le Champion, the Million Post Man or something, Million Hitman. He had that name for a short while. I liked. Then we got Jake Hager, but he went by Jack Swagger back then. Winning Money in the Bank, it looks like, there, 2015. So he's one of those guys. I'll say this a lot when I show these cards when I see him. He's kind of like the Brian. I like Jake Hager, though he does have a whole lot more going on for him. But like Brian Cage and Lance Archer, I feel like these big guys don't get enough of the screen time. They're focusing on so many of these little dudes, and I love a lot of these guys. I like Darby, I like MJF. I like these guys. So don't get me wrong, but they need to feature these guys that are giants a lot more as compelling storylines where they're throwing the little guy around a lot, and the little guy loses, but he comes back and wins. Like there are so many great storylines that can be told. And like I said, Jake Hager, luckily he's wrapped up with the whole inner circle stuff, so he's kind of okay. But Brian Cage is probably going to bounce as soon as his contract's up to, I guess, go to WWE, which he'll probably fit in better over there, which I hate because I've been following him since Lucha Underground days. And then Lance Archer is currently hurt, but every time you feel like he's got a little bit of a push, I feel like he gets pushed back down the card. So I don't know. Bryan Danielson right here, Yes Nation. It's so funny because he doesn't do the yes. He sometimes acts like he's gonna do it. Apparently, he told WWE out of respect he won't lead it, but if it happens, he can't control that. But he's playing. He's not really playing a heel, but he's playing like an arrogant prick he thinks he's better than you, and he knows it. So I like that character. He blurs the lines. I love that. We got Sting here. And again, Sting just had a match. I mean, dude is 60. I think he said 2 years old now. And man, you would not even know. You would not even know this man's 62 years old. He is moving so great. He doesn't even look like he's winded. I'm about winded doing this video. Then we got Dean Ambrose, a.k.a. John Moxley, apparently eating a hot dog out of a hot dog cart. There's probably some storyline. And this is the reason why, thank God, people like John Moxley have moved over to AEW. Like FTR and other people, because this is the kind of ridiculous, stupid stuff that AEW or WWE had them guys doing. They had their wrestlers just dumb storylines where they're talking about golf or hot dog carts, and then I think John Moxley had to do one where he's making fun of some Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns had cancer or something. He had joke on it. And then Jeff Hardy just left. He got fired. But they had a whole storyline where I think Sheamus or whatever was making fun of his alcohol and drug abuse. So I'm just like, have you not learned any lessons? And I'm by no means some kind of cancel culture, snowflake kind of person at all. But it's like, if people are struggling with something, why would you make that a part of the storyline? And all these years, they've had all this heat from doing stuff like that, and they still do it. It's mind-boggling. Here's another one of John Moxley. I want to get his book. But the thing is, I don't know much about him aside from his AEW days, so it would be a lot of stuff I'd be learning for the first time, I'm sure, because I don't know much about John Moxley, the man or the wrestler outside of AEW. Next up is Bret the Hitman Hart. He was in the very first, I believe, AEW Dynamite. I believe Dynamite. He presented the first World Championship title. So he had a bit part there. So he's kind of in the AEW, lore. Also, his brother Owen Hart and his family is now going to be a part of AEW with the Owen Cup. And they're going to win the Owen. It's both for male and female combatants, wrestlers, starting next year. His wife, I can't remember his Dr. something Hart. I can't remember her first. Dr. Lauren, I think, maybe Hart. But anyways, so maybe he'll be associated with that in some capacity. That'd be kind of cool. Here, it has nothing to do with AEW, but Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, probably next to Andre the Giant, my favorite wrestler of all time. I always loved Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. He never turned heel, always was a babyface, no matter where he wrestled. Always a babyface. I mean, dude, his matches with Sting, his matches with Ric Flair were just like legendary, especially with Flair. He's a great wrestler. I feel like he doesn't get enough, accolades. Another guy, I met him. I've talked about this before in other videos, but Roddy Piper, again, not with AEW in any capacity. He was one of my favorite wrestlers. He played the heel, to a T. He also did a great job as a babyface as well. He's done such legendary things with the Piper Pit. When Andre the Giant turned heel with Bobby the Brain Heenan against Hogan, Piper was there. The whole beating Superfly over the head with a coconut. There's just so many things. Hulk Hogan, again, I like him. I don't care if it's not the cool thing to say anymore. I still like Hulk Hogan. I like what he did in the ring. None of us guys that grew up in the 80s and 90s, or gals, I guess, for that matter, cannot even say that if it wasn't for Hogan, wrestling would not be here. It would not be at the level it is today. And Hogan's the sole reason why wrestling is still relevant today. He crossed over and was like a megastar. People get hung up and get all twisted. Things he did years later in his private life. And he did some, inappropriate and some inappropriate things. I get all that. But at the same time, he's a fantastic wrestler, and I'm going to continue to sing the Hogan praises. The stuff that he did with WWF/E, and then the stuff he did with WCW with the Hollywood Hogan. Come on, dude. Talking about another monster here, Rusev. Now goes by Miro, which is his real name. Fantastic. This is a blue border insert. Luckily, he showed up on AEW last night, cut a killer promo again, talking about his wife and redemption and all this kind of stuff. So, dude, another one of the guys that, he kind of got lost in the shuffle there for a bit. And then he, all of a sudden, went on a run with the TNT Championship TV title. And then he got beat by Sammy Guevara, which is ridiculous. And then he's kind of puttered around since then, and he got beat by Bryan Danielson for the championship title match, which was expected. But again, he lost just right before to Sammy Guevara. So two kind of big, high-profile match losses were kind of rough. So I'm looking forward to hopefully that he makes a big run again, because he was just such a monster and was just cutting these such great promos. You cannot shelve him for very much longer. He got to get back out there and into it all. Again, another Rusev one right here, another blue border insert. He defeats John Cena for, I don't know what that is, a U.S. Championship. It has an American flag. So I'm hoping with that. And we got another blue border here, Bryan Danielson. Another insert from the card, from the set, I'm sorry. Again, he's going to have, I think, next week or a week from now, his final match with Hangman Page. And they're going to, I don't know, that's the thing. I want to talk to some people, some of my guys, and talk about some of the 2022 predictions. And then my last card here was a Hogan Python Power. It's a Hulk Hogan, I think, spotlight of 40 cards. This is probably one of the best ones they have, in my opinion, with him and The Rock. It was a huge, that WrestleMania was huge. I don't know if that's the one this was talking about, WrestleMania, 18, I think. So anyways, this is pretty impressive, if I do say so myself. So alright guys, that's it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Let me know what you all think, how I did on the box. I'd like to thank my parents for buying the box for me. That was really awesome. I just kind of threw out there, hey, I'd like to have a box of wrestling cards. I don't really care what, just surprise me, and boom. So I was super pumped about it. So we got a bunch of cards that I could use. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Peace.